Ambassador Meera Shankar, former ambassador to the United States, is also joining us to talk more about this. Ma'am, appreciate you speaking with us. The first question is, what do you make of Trudeau's latest allegations and India's response?
Look, there are two narratives on the issue. One is the Indian narrative that these are allegations without any basis and that no evidence has been provided. And the other side is the Canadian allegation that they have provided evidence and that India was involved in these covert activities in Canada. Quite frankly, we don't know where the truth lies, but clearly there are political compulsions for Prime Minister Trudeau to make public allegations, because normally, even if there is something as sensitive as this, it would be discussed in confidence, in a discreet dialogue. But to use a public platform to level such allegations is not likely to elicit cooperation from India, because India's back would be up, and Prime Minister Trudeau wants to consolidate his minority base in Canada because he's facing a challenging political scenario where he could well lose the next election. And also there have been charges of foreign interference by countries such as China, Russia, Iran, and India in Canada's political affairs, domestic political affairs. The main focus was really on China, but India has been brought into this. And perhaps it's also a way to take the focus away from China by putting India in the same bracket.
Ma'am, do you think that the West has supported Justin Trudeau out of compulsion? And what are India's options if the West is, ganging up against us?
Look, I think the Five Eyes is an intelligence alliance, and they are close allies. India is not an alliance partner of any of these countries. We are a strategic partner of the United States, and we also have a strategic partnership with the UK. But we are not an alliance partner. So that alliance for sharing intelligence would be quite strong. And initially, when the Canadians made this allegation, there was a sense that the US had shared intelligence with them on the basis of which they were making it. Now, if you look at how the US has handled similar allegations about an attempted covert killing of Mr. Panoon, then it's been a far more discreet dialogue where the two sides have discussed things in confidence. And of course, Mr. Gupta, the individual involved, now faces trial in the United States, and that trial is going to be a public trial. So a lot of people are going to be watching that very closely to see what evidence emerges from it. But the Indian government has also sent a team for discussions with the US government. And there have been news reports that some individual who may have overreached has been removed from service and is also facing arrest. So we have to see where this goes. But clearly for India, I don't think it's very good that we should be lumped together with countries like China or Iran, in the perception that may arise as a result of these allegations. So we have to take it seriously, and especially the ongoing investigations in the US and the trial there, I think would be very important. I don't think we can just brush it aside.
Ma'am, what do you make of Trudeau's latest doubling down? Do you see a clear link with the ongoing case pertaining to Chinese influence, that is?
Yes, I think that, it is, because it is in some way influenced by that. But I think the broader political purpose is also to position himself vis-a-vis the Sikh community in Canadian politics and vis-a-vis other minorities. For India, I think the concern has been that China provides safe haven to individuals who are wanted in India for serious crimes and who continue to target India from Canadian soil. And our concerns regarding extremist activity originating from Canada, criminal activity originating from Canada, has not been taken seriously by the Canadian government. So when the Canadian government talks about sovereignty and territorial integrity and rule of law, it's something which applies both ways. I think India's sovereignty and territorial integrity and the rule of law vis-a-vis India is equally important. And if you have elements who either incite individuals to violence or conspire with them to undertake violent acts or finance violent activities in India or advocate separatism, it is something which goes against the rule of law and also India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. And we would expect more responsiveness from a fellow democracy.
Ma'am, the US has said that the man accused in the Pannu plot is not an Indian government employee. Do you think that India and the US have handled the situation better than Mr. Justin Trudeau?
Yes, definitely, because the US has not been making public allegations for political purposes, and the rest of the relationship has continued to be insulated from this particular case. So we've just signed the agreement for purchasing the Predator drones from the US. So the relationship is ongoing, whereas Canada has chosen to act in a manner which is freezing the relationship, including, pushing India to actually withdraw its diplomats and its ambassador, who's the highest level diplomat there.
Ma'am, the Indian interest is obviously with Canada and other nations harboring Khalistanis. What would be India's next course of action in dealing with this problem?
I think India has to work through legal processes in Canada. We have to make requests for extradition where we think that an individual is involved in terrorist or extremist activity in India. And then we have to present evidence which would hold up in a court of law in Canada. We also have to, continue to press these issues with other Five Eye partners, including the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, that this sensitivity has to be displayed when you're dealing with a fellow democracy, and that if you, ignore India's concerns on these issues, then it's something which does not gel well with a strong strategic partnership.
Ma'am, do you think India should make an outreach to the Conservatives or completely cut Canada off?
Well, it depends. I don't think that the Conservative Party may hold a similar view as the Trudeau government. There's been quite a bit of criticism and also bewilderment in Canada at his having blown the relationship with India so publicly. Because geopolitically, if you look between India and Canada, there is a potential geopolitical alignment in the Indo-Pacific. And of course, the economic ties are robust, people-to-people ties are robust, because, while trade is not too much, it's $8.4 billion both ways. India was importing lentils from Canada and fertilizer, important products from India's point of view. And B, Canadian pension funds have invested almost cumulatively over the years, not this year, so almost $75 billion in the Indian market. So that's a huge investment. Of course, till now, the economic aspect of the relationship has been by and large insulated from the fallout of this case, except for halting the negotiations on a free trade agreement between India and Canada. But now you have their foreign minister in Canada saying nothing is off the table, including sanctions. So we don't really know to what depths the Canadians want to plunge the relationship. I mean, according to me, it would make more sense for the two countries to step back, pause their rhetoric, and then see how they can pick up the threads of their relationship after some time, because it's not in the interest of either country to have such a strong strain in the relationship.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.